Hi, this is Jonathan from Train Tracks in York. Today we're going to be looking at starting scenic work on a Hex-TRAK module. This is in conjunction with Adam at RAILstuff, who's just launched the Make a Scene 26 competition. It was launched at the Bristol show at the beginning of May, and this is a competition to celebrate creativity and to get people modelling and building Hex-TRAK modules. So here we have a curved Hex-TRAK module with the Kato Unitrack already glued to it. I've also got here a copy of the 2024 Kato catalogue, and the reason for that is I've always really liked this cover image, and I want to recreate, if I can, something similar to that on here. So we've got the single track line, and behind it we've got a lovely blue-green sea. We've got some rocks around the edge, some greenery, some sandy beach, and I want to basically use those elements on here. Now, in the 2022 Kato catalogue, we've actually got another image of the same layout or diorama that was used, and that's from the reverse angle. Now, as you can see there, they've actually got probably a good 30mm, maybe even 40mm between the level of the sea and the track level, which obviously we don't have here because the track is mounted flat to the module, as it is on all of the standard modules. But hopefully with a bit of scenic trickery we can somehow kind of create the illusion of a bit more depth than we've actually got, or a bit more height than we've actually got. So let's get into it and start planning out where things are going to go on here. Okay, so here we have a standard Hex-TRAK module. This is a curved one. It's got the Kato Unitrack, the 216mm radius Unitrack glued to it, and this is what we're going to use for the Hex-TRAK module that we're going to build based on this image on the 2024 catalogue. Now, on this image, the sea is on the inside of the curve. Obviously on here we've got more scenic area on the outside of the curve than the inside, so what we're actually going to do is just switch that round and have the sea over here, which will give us a bit more scope for scenic elements, and we'll do something over here to tie in with that as well. So if we turn this round this way, the basic idea is that we're going to have some kind of rocks kind of around here, some nice big rocks, and same at this side, and between the two a bit of kind of sea defences, a few rocks there, and then just a beach here, and then the sea here. Now obviously, because we're limited with depth, we're not going to be using resin or anything like that for the water. What I want to use for the water is the toilet paper technique, which I first saw done by Marklin of Sweden quite a few years ago, and I've always wanted to try it. Recently, Tom at Buggles Kelly Station, he did a diorama for his brilliant lighthouse kit, and he used the same technique, so that's kind of refreshed it in my mind. So I want to try and do that. So like I say, we're going to have an area of rocks between the track and the sea at the front, and then at the back here, I think what we're going to do, we're going to have some kind of path going across the track to give access to the beach area. We've got the Kato 24-218 figures, which, if I can just show you there, we've got 6 figures in there, various sunbathers and swimmers and things like that. So we're going to use those, I think, on the beach area. So some kind of path across the track, and then here maybe an area like maybe a bit of woodland and a few trees, and maybe just the edge of a car park with a couple of vehicles parked in there, just to give, you know, the impression of somewhere that people come and they park up walk across the track onto this nice secluded little cove or beach or whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure of the exact technical term, but yeah, that's the general idea. Okay, so we've moved on a little bit from the last clip. I've actually switched this this module out because we've now got a powered module. Because for the Maker Scene 26 competition, where everybody comes together and brings all their modules and they're all clipped together into one big layout, we are going to need some power feeds. So this will hopefully be one of the power feed modules that we use to power the layout, basically. But other than that, it's exactly the same as the standard curve module. I've just used a bit of polystyrene and a bit of foam just to flesh out a bit more detail in terms of heights of what we're going to do. At the back here, we've got a bit of foam to raise that section up because it did look a bit low. We've got a tree on there and a couple of vehicles. The car park area, I don't want to do it as like a tarmacked or a paved car park. It's going to be like rough ground, maybe you know, some log dividers for the car parking spaces, like a country park type of car park rather than a supermarket car park. So obviously we've got the sea down here. This is just a bit of blue paper that I've used just to illustrate that. We've got the beach area here. Put some of the figures on roughly where I think they're going to go. We've got a couple of them up here on the rocks as well, and that's the general feel of what I'm hoping to achieve. Okay, so I've just brought the camera down to a lower level just to show you in a bit more detail. So we have got a bit of height here at the back, a tree, maybe a couple of others on this bit here as well. I don't want those to be too large though. I want them to be quite small, certainly no larger than this one here. We've got a couple of vehicles at the back there, and then a figure walking from the car park. We're going to have the path across here that we talked about, and a gap between the rocks, but not too much of a gap, and then some figures on the beach and on the rocks sunbathing, and then we'll have the sea area in front here. The rocks, the polystyrene is just temporary, just to mock it up and give you an idea of what it's hopefully going to look like. The rocks I will probably do in plaster. I've used that technique with the Woodland Scenics rock molds in the past, and that's been quite successful. They paint up really nicely and easily, so I think that's what I'm going to do again. And the beach, I'm going to use either some very fine sand, or maybe even some like beige tile grout, something like that. The water, as I said, I'm going to use the toilet paper and PVA technique, and that should hopefully give us a nice little scenic module that looks good from pretty much any angle.